What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Garry took a sharp jab at Tai Tuivasa after his latest setback. During a recent moment, he and his team lightly mocked Tai following his unanimous decision loss to Talison Texeira at UFC 325 over the weekend. That defeat marked Tai's sixth straight loss inside the octagon. Even more shocking, it also set a new record for the most consecutive losses in UFC heavyweight history. Garry quickly reposted that statistic online and added a blunt caption, writing, "What a record to break." The comment sparked mixed reactions from fans, with some laughing it off and others calling it unnecessary. Still, it added fuel to ongoing discussions about respect, rivalry, and accountability in modern MMA. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news. Daniel Cormier recently opened up about the real reason he decided to move down to light heavyweight during a conversation with Tom Brady on the Champion Mindset podcast. He explained that when he first joined AKA Detroit, he walked in as an Olympian and a heavyweight, while Cain Velasquez was already the reigning heavyweight champion. At that time, Cain never viewed Daniel as a future opponent, but instead treated him like a teammate and a younger brother in the gym. As Daniel continued to grow and improve, he eventually worked his way up to becoming the #2 heavyweight in the world. That was when he had to make a difficult decision. He admitted that Cain had set the standard for what a true teammate should be, always uplifting him and pushing him forward. Because of that respect, Daniel felt he could never bring himself to fight him. Rather than creating tension or forcing a rivalry, he chose to move down to 205 pounds. He said he wanted to avoid testing that bond and damaging their relationship. For Daniel, loyalty mattered more than opportunity. He also emphasized how strong leadership can elevate someone's career. Cain's support helped shape him into a champion, and that influence stayed with him throughout his journey in the UFC. Moving on to another news. Reports now indicate that Cain Velasquez is officially eligible for parole after spending significant time behind bars. According to recent updates, Cain has been incarcerated for a total of 312 days, and his parole eligibility date is set for February 2026. However, sources suggest that he could potentially be released much sooner than expected, possibly as early as this month. The news has sparked strong reactions across the MMA community, with many fans expressing hope, support, and encouragement for his future. Supporters believe he deserves a second chance to rebuild his life and move in a positive direction afterward today. Moving on to another news. Sean O'Malley recently opened up about the constant anxiety he deals with as a professional fighter, revealing how the pressure never truly goes away. He explained that there is always a small level of stress in the background, no matter where he is in his career. Whether he is ranked high, preparing for a fight, or simply taking time off, the mental weight remains. Sean said that being in the sport means knowing what is coming next. Another intense training camp, another brutal weight cut, and another dangerous fight are always around the corner. Even when he is not booked for a bout and is trying to relax, his mind still reminds him that he will soon have to go through the process all over again. He talked about how emotionally draining the sport can be. The highs of winning and the lows of losing are extreme, and those swings take a toll over time. According to him, that constant cycle creates a lingering anxiety that never fully disappears. His body and mind remember how tough the camps are, how exhausting the cuts feel, and how violent the fights can be. Sean admitted that even during his most peaceful moments, that awareness is still there. He described it as something he subconsciously tunes into, realizing that this life is both rewarding and punishing. In the end, he accepted that this anxiety is simply part of being an elite fighter, and something he must learn to live with as he continues his journey. Moving on to another news. Arnold Allen recently shared a hilarious and slightly concerning story about his taxi ride on fight day before facing Gene Silva at UFC 324. According to Arnold, everything started off perfectly. The weather was nice, the mood was relaxed, and the team was feeling good as they prepared to head toward T-Mobile Arena. However, things quickly became strange once they got into the car. Arnold said he was almost certain the driver was high based on his behavior. Instead of taking a direct route, the driver chose a long scenic path and appeared to get completely lost. He kept calling Arnold Alan Arnold and seemed confused the entire time. To make matters worse, the driver was constantly on his phone, texting while driving, and slamming the brakes at every red light. Arnold mentioned that his teammate Faz was sitting in the front seat and looked genuinely nervous, especially as the driver kept looking down instead of watching the road. The situation became even more uncomfortable when they were stopped and authorities walked around the vehicle. The driver suddenly joked, "Wouldn't it be funny if they found a bag of drugs in the car?" which immediately raised more suspicion. Arnold and his team just stared at him, thinking it sounded like something only someone with drugs in the car would say. The driver looked twitchy, sketchy, and completely out of place for such an important moment. Despite all that, Arnold couldn't help but laugh about it afterward. The driver continued calling him Alan Arnold and promised to look out for him, adding to the bizarre experience. Looking back, Arnold said it was one of the strangest and funniest moments he had ever experienced on the way to a fight venue, especially on such a crucial day in his career. Moving on to another news, Cory Sandhagen has officially called out Sean O'Malley for a highly unusual and headline-grabbing fight, suggesting they settle things on a White House card. Cory said he believes there is absolutely no reason for the matchup not to happen and feels it is long overdue. In his view, the fight makes sense stylistically, competitively, and from a fan interest standpoint. He admitted that he has spent a lot of time thinking about why Sean has never fully committed to fighting him. At first, Cory wondered if Sean might be scared, but quickly dismissed that idea, pointing out that Sean has faced plenty of dangerous opponents in the past. He then joked that maybe Sean avoids him because he looks too similar to Tim Welch and does not want to fight another ginger. Cory continued joking around by adding that maybe Sean is slightly attracted to him, or that it could be a mix of different reasons altogether. While much of his commentary was delivered with humor, the frustration behind it was real. He made it clear that he genuinely wants this fight and feels it is being ignored for no good reason. According to Cory, a matchup on the White House lawn would be iconic and unforgettable for the sport. He believes it would bring massive attention and give both fighters a chance to prove themselves on a historic stage. As time goes on, Cory says the situation is starting to annoy him more and more. He emphasized that he is tired of waiting, tired of speculating, and ready to compete. In his mind, the fight needs to happen soon, and he is determined to keep pushing until it becomes reality. Moving on to another news. Quillin Salkild made his UFC debut just last February and has already been winning over fans with his exciting performances. Widely recognized as one of the most promising talents in the lightweight division, the rising prospect extended his hot streak to 11 straight wins with a first-round submission victory over Jamie Mullarkey at UFC 325. Speaking on Instagram, Salkilld shared a glimpse into his simple yet effective approach to strategy inside the octagon. He jokingly apologized to fans whose parlays he ruined, admitting that some were expecting him to win by knockout. Quillan explained that every time he steps into the cage, he essentially hits a randomizer button, going with whatever comes naturally and improvising as he fights. His philosophy is straightforward: fight the fight in front of him and trust his instincts. So far, that method has worked perfectly, and he intends to stick with it moving forward. During his main card debut, Salkilld was thrilled to show off his grappling skills, including his signature move, the Salkilld Slam, a name credited to Ariel Helwani. He has already landed the slam twice in the UFC and plans to continue using it as a highlight of his arsenal. His performance earned him another bonus, reinforcing his rising status in the division. Quillan closed by expressing excitement to return to action as soon as possible, hoping to keep the momentum going. His combination of creativity, technical skill, and unpredictability has made him one of the most entertaining new fighters to watch, and fans are eager to see how far this hot streak will take him in the UFC. Moving on to another news, Rob Font is preparing for a high-profile clash against Raul Rosas Jr. at UFC 326, and he recently spoke about the noticeable age gap between them. Rob is now 38 years old, while Raul is just 21, making it a classic veteran versus rising prospect matchup. During an interview, Rob joked about facing another member of the younger generation, calling Raul one of the new Zoomers taking over the sport. He explained that this situation is nothing new for him. Throughout his career, he has often found himself in battles against hungry up-and-comers, whether as the young fighter trying to prove himself, or now as the experienced veteran defending his spot. Rob admitted that he understands how the process works in the UFC. As fighters get older, the promotion tends to match them with younger talents to test if it is time to move on. However, Rob made it clear that he is not ready to step aside. He believes his skills, mindset, and experience still give him an edge. He sees this fight as another chance to shut down hype, prove his value and remind everyone that he is not leaving anytime soon. Moving on to another news. Lerone Murphy is keeping things grounded ahead of his upcoming fight with Movsar Evloev, making it clear that their matchup isn't officially a #1 contender bout, at least not yet. He emphasized that in the UFC, performances matter far more than talk, and while hype and speculation are easy, someone always has to go out there and prove themselves inside the octagon. For Lerone, the next title shot should be earned decisively. But it doesn't necessarily require a highlight reel finish. What matters is that the victory is undeniable, leaving no doubts about who deserves the opportunity. On strategy, Lerone called Movsar an elite fighter, praising his skills and acknowledging the challenge ahead. Despite that, he plans to push him to the limit, combining solid defensive wrestling with relentless offense. Lerone intends to pressure Evloev constantly, force mistakes, and hunt for the knockout from the opening bell to the final round. He views the matchup as a classic striker versus wrestler clash, though he also recognizes that both fighters are well-rounded and capable in all areas, with their strengths clearly standing out in striking and grappling. Murphy also weighed in on Alex Volkanovski's rematch with Diego Lopes, sharing that he believes he could have handled the fight differently. He acknowledged that Father Time eventually catches up to everyone, and that, given the opportunity, he would have approached the matchup in his own way. He also stated that he isn't surprised by how the Diego fight unfolded and believes it aligned with how the division has been mapped out. Regarding his own fight, Lerone emphasized that nothing is concrete in the UFC and that a title shot must be earned. He said it would be unfair to suggest a fighter must deliver a spectacular knockout to earn the next shot, stressing that the type of fight and opponent are already clear. Lerone concluded that whoever wins the matchup between him and Movsar should be undeniably next in line for a title, based purely on performance, skill, and consistency. He believes the matchmakers understand the significance of this fight, and he is ready to prove himself inside the cage. Moving on to another news, Khabib has shared high praise for his cousin Usman Nurmagomedov, claiming that he now operates at the same elite level as Ilia and Arman, and possibly even higher. In a recent interview, Khabib explained that Usman has developed tremendously over the past year, not only physically, but also technically and mentally. According to him, the undefeated PFL lightweight champion is now competing on the same tier as the very best fighters in the world at 155 pounds. Khabib admitted that a year ago, he would have been more cautious with such comparisons. At that time, he felt Usman still needed more experience and growth before being placed alongside the top names in the division. However, after watching his progress closely, his opinion has completely changed. He now believes Usman is fully prepared to compete with the highest level of opposition. This assessment also fits into the long-term vision of their team, with Islam Makhachev moving up to welterweight and no longer holding the lightweight belt. The spotlight has slowly shifted toward Usman. Khabib and Javier Mendez have spoken for years about shaping him into a future pound-for-pound contender, and his recent performances continue to support that plan. Usman became the inaugural PFL lightweight champion after several hard-fought battles, including wars with Paul Hughes. He later defended his title against Alfie Davis in Dubai, and currently sits at the top of the PFL pound-for-pound rankings. These achievements have strengthened the belief that he belongs among the global elite. When asked about comparing a PFL fighter to UFC contenders, Khabib said he prefers to be ethical and careful with direct comparisons. Still, he emphasized that if people look objectively at Usman's development over just 1 year, the improvement is obvious. He highlighted how much stronger, more confident, and more complete Usman has become. Khabib also pointed out that he trains, wrestles, and works with Usman every day, giving him a unique inside perspective. From both internal and external viewpoints, he sees massive growth. He firmly believes Usman is already competitive at that level. Looking back, Khabib said that if he had been asked a year earlier, he would have advised patience. But today, his stance is clear. In his view, Usman has arrived. He is ready for the biggest challenges in the sport, and only time will continue to confirm just how far he can go. Moving on to another news, Petr Yan has stirred major attention by challenging Ilia to a potential boxing match, while also making bold promises about his future against Merab. After recently capturing the bantamweight title, Petr did not hold back in his comments, claiming that he completely dominated his opponent and broke him mentally and physically. His remarks quickly sparked backlash, with Ilia responding by telling him to show more respect and be careful with his words. Since then, the situation has only escalated. In a recent appearance with a Russian influencer, Petr confirmed that Merab will likely receive an immediate title rematch. He praised Merab's previous title defenses and admitted that he fully deserves another shot. However, Petr also insisted that the next fight would be even more one-sided. He confidently stated that he has Merab figured out and believes he will dominate him even harder in a trilogy matchup. Petr explained that in their last fight, Merab chose to trust his stand-up and box with him instead of relying on wrestling. He said he successfully defended all the takedowns and forced the fight into his preferred range. According to Petr, this was exactly part of the game plan, and it allowed him to control the contest. He believes the same approach would lead to an even more decisive victory next time. Turning his attention to Ilia, Petr acknowledged that Ilia's comments were influenced by loyalty and emotion. He said it is natural for fighters to defend their teammates, especially when reputations and pride are on the line. While he dismissed some of the criticism, he also praised Ilia's boxing ability, calling him a dangerous and skilled striker with strong instincts. Petr revealed that he would be open to facing Ilia in a pure boxing match. He admitted that Ilia would be a tough opponent due to his size, power, and timing. However, Petr emphasized his lifelong experience in boxing and his strong will to win as major advantages. For additional context, Petr and Ilia were once scheduled to fight in the UFC years ago, before Ilia even made his promotional debut. That matchup never happened, but the tension has remained ever since. Now, with championship gold around his waist and confidence at an all-time high, Petr appears ready to take on all challengers. Whether it is a trilogy with Merab or a boxing showdown with Ilia, he is making it clear that he believes he is the man to beat in every arena.